Chosen one. The rejection you went through was not random. It did not happen because you lacked value, and it certainly did not happen because God abandoned you. In fact, the very rejection that once made you question your worth may be the same event God is using to reposition your entire life. Many people believe rejection is the end of a story. They believe it signals failure, abandonment, or loss. But heaven often sees it differently. In many cases, rejection is not the closing of a door, it is the redirection of a path. You may have experienced moments where people you trusted suddenly turned their backs on you. Opportunities you believed were meant for you disappeared without explanation. Doors that once seemed open quietly shut. And during those seasons, it is easy to feel confused. It is easy to wonder why something that felt promising suddenly dissolved. But chosen one, what if those moments were not meant to destroy your destiny, but to protect it? History repeatedly shows that people who carry a significant purpose often walk through seasons where others fail to recognize their value. Those seasons can be painful because human hearts naturally seek acceptance and belonging. When that acceptance is withdrawn, it leaves emotional wounds that take time to understand. Yet those same wounds often become the starting point for a greater transformation. There was once a young man who carried dreams placed inside him long before anyone else believed in them. Those dreams spoke of influence, leadership, and a future far greater than his current circumstances. But instead of encouragement, he faced rejection from the very people who knew him best. They misunderstood him, they dismissed him, they pushed him away in ways that seemed final. From a human perspective, his story looked like betrayal and loss. But what looked like abandonment was actually the beginning of a journey that would position him to rise far beyond what anyone expected. Chosen one, the same principle still exists today. God often uses rejection to move his people out of environments that cannot support their calling. When you remain in spaces where your gifts are dismissed or your vision is constantly reduced, growth becomes restricted. But when rejection forces you to leave those environments, something surprising begins to happen. New doors appear, new connections form, new understanding begins to grow. At first, the separation feels painful because it breaks familiarity. People you once relied on are no longer present. Conversations that once filled your days become quiet. Yet within that quiet space, something powerful begins to develop. You begin hearing God's direction more clearly. You begin recognizing your strength more deeply. And you begin realizing that your identity was never meant to be defined by the approval of others. Chosen one, rejection has a way of stripping away false identities. When the voices that once affirmed you disappear, you are left with an important question. Who are you when no one else is validating you? That question can feel uncomfortable at first, but it also becomes the doorway to discovering who God designed you to be from the beginning. Many viewers listening to this message have experienced rejection that felt deeply personal. Perhaps someone dismissed your ideas. Perhaps someone minimized your dreams. Perhaps someone you trusted walked away when you needed support the most. Those moments leave emotional marks that can linger for years if they are not understood correctly. But here is a truth that can change how you see those experiences forever. The rejection you endured may have been the exact event God used to move you toward your royal inheritance. If the people who rejected you had fully embraced you, you might have remained in environments that were never meant to be permanent. Their rejection became the push that moved you towards something greater. Think about that young man whose family rejected him. If they had accepted his dreams and kept him close, he may never have left his hometown. He may never have encountered the circumstances that eventually placed him in a position of leadership over a powerful nation. The pain of rejection moved him into the very environment where his destiny could unfold. Chosen one, sometimes God allows rejection because the place you are leaving cannot support the future He prepared for you. What feels like loss today may actually be relocation. What feels like abandonment may actually be protection. And if you have ever experienced rejection that forced you to grow stronger, wiser, and more determined, I want you to participate in this moment of reflection. Write the words, "I am still chosen" in the comments. Your declaration may remind someone else that their story is not over. Also, take a moment to support this message by liking this video so it can reach others who are currently questioning their worth because someone else failed to see their value. Your simple action may help someone rediscover their purpose. Chosen one, another important truth must be understood. Rejection often becomes one of the most powerful tools used in spiritual warfare. The enemy understands that when a person begins discovering their calling, confidence becomes dangerous to the forces that seek to keep people trapped in doubt. So one of the easiest ways to weaken someone's confidence is through rejection. When people experience repeated rejection, a dangerous belief can begin forming inside the mind. The belief that says, "Maybe I am not meant for anything greater." The belief that whispers, "Maybe my dreams were unrealistic." Those thoughts can quietly steal the courage required to pursue purpose. But here is the powerful truth that many chosen ones eventually discover. What was meant to discourage them often becomes the fuel that drives them forward. The pain of rejection pushes them to grow in ways they never expected. It forces them to develop resilience. It forces them to deepen their faith. And eventually, it reveals a strength that could not have been discovered through comfort alone. That is why many people who carry influence today once walked through seasons where others doubted them. Those seasons did not destroy them, they trained them. And if you are currently in a season where rejection still hurts, know this: your story is still unfolding. The same God who transforms setbacks into stepping stones is still guiding your life. Because rejection is not the final chapter for chosen ones. Very often, it is the first step towards royal inheritance. In the next part of this message, we will uncover something many people overlook. We will explore the hidden battle behind rejection and how the enemy attempts to use it to isolate those who carry purpose. Once you understand this spiritual battle, you will begin to seeing your past experiences in a completely different light.
Chosen one, once you begin understanding rejection through a spiritual lens, something important becomes clear. Not every rejection in your life was simply the result of human misunderstanding. Some of those moments were connected to a deeper spiritual battle. When a person carries a purpose placed there by God, that purpose naturally attracts resistance. It attracts opposition. It attracts voices that try to weaken confidence before destiny fully unfolds. The enemy understands something that many people overlook. If he can convince a chosen person that they are unwanted, insignificant, or incapable, he does not need to stop their destiny directly. Doubt will do the work for him. Self-rejection becomes stronger than external rejection. And once someone begins questioning their own worth, they often withdraw from opportunities that were meant for them. This is why rejection becomes such a common weapon in spiritual warfare. It plants a quiet question inside the heart. Do I really belong anywhere? That question slowly grows into hesitation. Hesitation becomes fear. Fear becomes inactivity. And before long, the very person who was meant to step forward begins holding themselves back. But here is the truth that changes everything. What the enemy intends to use as a weapon, God often turns into preparation. The very experience designed to weaken you can become the process that strengthens you. Think again about the young man who was rejected by those closest to him. His journey did not immediately lead to honor or recognition. After being pushed away, he faced seasons of hardship that seemed completely unfair. He worked faithfully, while others took credit for his efforts. He was misunderstood in situations where he had done nothing wrong. There were moments where it looked like his life was moving further away from the dreams placed inside his heart. Yet during those difficult seasons, something was quietly developing. Character was being refined, leadership ability was being strengthened, wisdom was being formed through experience. Even though he could not see it at the time, every challenge was preparing him for the responsibility he would one day carry. Chosen one, preparation often happens in places where recognition is absent. Many people want the crown, but few are willing to endure the training required before wearing it. God understands that authority without maturity can destroy a person's life. So before elevation comes preparation. Before influence comes testing. Before inheritance comes refinement. Rejection often becomes the doorway into that preparation process. When people walk away from you, the noise around your life becomes quieter. You begin spending more time alone with your thoughts. And within that solitude, something powerful happens. You begin discovering who you really are. Without the constant influence of other opinions, your connection with God deepens. Your prayer life becomes stronger. Your dependence on divine guidance becomes clearer. And slowly, the identity that once depended on human approval begins transforming into an identity rooted in purpose. Many chosen ones look back years later and realize that the seasons they once called rejection were actually seasons of divine training. Those experiences taught them resilience. They taught them emotional strength. They taught them how to remain faithful even when circumstances looked discouraging. There is also another truth hidden within rejection that many people miss. Rejection reveals the environments that cannot support your calling. When people constantly resist your growth, dismiss your ideas, or discourage your vision, it often means that your assignment lies somewhere beyond that environment. Remaining there would only limit what God intends to accomplish through your life. Rejection forces movement. It pushes you out of places where you would have remained comfortable but unfulfilled. It breaks the illusion that everyone around you understands your purpose. And once that illusion disappears, you begin searching for the path that truly aligns with God's direction for your life. Some viewers listening right now may be realizing that certain doors in their past closed for reasons they did not understand at the time. A relationship ended unexpectedly. A job opportunity vanished. A group of people who once welcomed you suddenly turned distant. At the time, those moments may have felt like painful setbacks. But chosen one, look at where you are today. Look at the strength you developed since then. Look at the wisdom you gained. Look at the direction your life eventually took after those doors closed. In many cases, the rejection that once hurt you became the exact turning point that led you towards something greater. That is how God often works. He takes the events that look like detours and turns them into pathways toward purpose. The enemy may attempt to isolate you through rejection, but God uses that same moment to draw you closer to Him and redirect your steps toward destiny. If this message is helping you see your past differently, I want you to take a moment to engage with this community. In the comments, share one experience where rejection later led you towards something better. Your testimony might give hope to someone who is currently walking through a painful season. And if this message is strengthening your faith, remember to support the mission of this channel by liking this video and subscribing to the Chosen Star so more people searching for encouragement can discover these messages. Chosen one, there is still another powerful truth about rejection that we must understand. Rejection does not only redirect your path, it also reveals your identity. When people walk away from you, they unknowingly push you closer to discovering the royal inheritance placed inside your life. The moment you stop chasing approval from those who rejected you is the moment you begin stepping into the authority God designed for you. Because your inheritance was never meant to be determined by human acceptance. Your inheritance comes from God. And once you begin living with that understanding, rejection loses its power to define your story. Instead, it becomes the very event that positioned you for something greater. In the final part of this message, we will explore how to step fully into that royal inheritance. You will learn practical steps that help transform rejection into strength, confidence, and spiritual authority, so you can move forward with clarity and purpose.
Chosen one,
Once you begin to see rejection through the lens of purpose instead of pain, something powerful begins to shift inside you. The events that once felt like wounds begin to look like preparation. The moments that once made you question your worth begin to reveal how God was shaping your character for something greater than you understood at the time. This is where many chosen ones experience a transformation that changes the direction of their lives. Rejection may have forced you into uncomfortable seasons, but those seasons often awaken strengths that would have remained hidden otherwise. When people walk away, you learn how to stand on your own feet. When doors close, you learn how to trust God for new ones. When support disappears, you discover the inner resilience that was placed inside you long before the rejection happened. There is a deeper reason for this transformation. God does not allow hardship in the life of a chosen person without a purpose connected to their future. Those who are destined to carry influence must first learn endurance. Those who will guide others must first understand struggle. And those who will one day walk in authority must first learn humility and dependence on God. This is why rejection often becomes a refining process. It removes the need for constant validation. It strips away the belief that approval from others determines your identity. And in its place, something stronger begins to grow. Confidence rooted in purpose, faith rooted in trust, identity rooted in the knowledge that your life is guided by something greater than human opinion. Chosen one, when you understand that truth, the next step becomes clear. Instead of allowing rejection to keep you stuck in the past, you begin using it as a stepping stone toward the future God prepared for you. One of the most powerful steps you can take is choosing forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean pretending the rejection never hurt you. It means releasing the emotional weight that comes from holding resentment. When you forgive, you free your heart from being tied to the people who rejected you. You allow God to heal the wound so your focus can return to your purpose. Another important step is speaking truth over your life. Many people carry the words spoken during moments of rejection for years. Those words replay in their minds and slowly shape how they see themselves. But chosen ones must learn to replace those voices with declarations of faith. Instead of repeating the labels placed on you by others, begin affirming the identity God placed within you. You can declare with confidence that your life still carries purpose. You can remind yourself that rejection did not cancel your destiny. And each time you speak those truths, you strengthen your faith and weaken the influence of past doubt. Prayer also becomes a powerful tool during this stage of the journey. Through prayer, you can release the spirit of rejection that once tried to define your identity. You can ask God to renew your perspective and restore the confidence that rejection attempted to steal. Prayer realigns your thoughts with truth and reconnects you with the source of your strength. Preparation is another key step towards stepping into your inheritance. Many chosen ones wait for opportunity without preparing for it, but when God positions someone for elevation, preparation becomes essential. Just as the young man who was once rejected eventually developed the skills needed to lead a nation through crisis, you must also refine the gifts placed inside you. Whatever talents, abilities, or passions God placed within your life, this is the time to nurture them. Learn, practice, grow. Develop the discipline required to handle greater responsibility. When preparation meets opportunity, destiny begins unfolding in ways that surprise even those who once doubted you. Another powerful habit is writing down the vision God places in your heart. When you record your goals, dreams, and prayers, you create a clear reminder of the direction you are moving toward. Vision keeps your focus forward instead of allowing past rejection to pull your attention backward. Over time, you will look back at those written dreams and see how God guided your steps toward them. Chosen one, there is something beautiful about the way God transforms painful experiences into stepping stones. The same rejection that once made you feel forgotten can become the moment that introduced you to your real identity. The same door that once closed can lead you to discover a path you never considered before. Many people who now walk confidently in their purpose once stood exactly where you may be standing today. They questioned why rejection happened. They wondered if their dreams would ever become reality. But when they continued trusting God through the uncertainty, something remarkable happened. Their story unfolded in ways they never expected. And your story is still unfolding as well. The rejection you endured did not erase the inheritance God prepared for your life. In fact, it may have been the very event that positioned you to receive it. Because sometimes God must move us away from places where we were merely accepted, so He can lead us towards places where we are truly called. Chosen one, if this message speaks to your journey, I want you to make a declaration today. In the comments, type the words "Royal" now. Let that declaration be a reminder that rejection does not define your identity. Your identity comes from the purpose God placed inside you. If this message encouraged you, take a moment to like this video so others walking through rejection can find hope here as well. And if you want to continue growing in faith, purpose, and spiritual strength, subscribe to The Chosen Star and become a part of this community dedicated to uplifting chosen ones around the world. Your past does not disqualify you. Your rejection did not cancel your future, and the inheritance God prepared for your life is still waiting for you to step forward with faith.